Namaste and welcome. We're going to dive into a practice. But before we dive into a practice, I want to set up a little context. So consider this as like a contemplation. So sit tall with your head, neck, and trunk in a long line. Sit in a noble posture, free from strain. You don't need to take notes because you can rewatch this. But maybe on your second watch, you might want to make some notes. Or after you complete this, after you complete the practice, there may be some notes, some intuitions, insights, inner guidance. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths to begin making space. Inhale deeply through the nose. Hold the breath for a few moments. Melt your shoulders away from your ears. Soften the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands like you're opening fists with your imagination. Exhale out your mouth. Do that twice more. Inhale deeply. Hold, soften. Exhale, let go. Once more, inhale deeply. And let it all go. So that'll be point one for making space for thriving. That's the focus of our practice. That's the focus of these teachings. Making space for thriving. Often, making space for thriving is discussed in the common kind of space as letting go of the past, clearing the past, dissolving the past. But the fact is that the past actually is in the past. The past itself is in the past. We're not going to bring it forward. So what is it we're really talking about here? Let's get very, very practical, because if it's not practical, it's not going to help us. Take another deep breath. Let go on the exhale. Beautiful, beautiful. And you can keep taking breaths if you notice that that's beneficial. How do you know it's beneficial? You notice some tension, subtle tension, strong tension. And then just soften it with your imagination like you're opening a fist with your mind. This is a hint about where we're going to go in the guided longer practice. So the past, clearing the past. Things, physical objects can hold reminders. So this yantra behind me, Shri Yantra, is a reminder for me of a particular flow of energy, a particular number of flows of energy that I find very inspiring, empowering, and work with. So this object of the yantra is reflecting an energy that I choose to work with. However, there can be things in our space, you know, the junk drawer. I think most of us have a junk drawer if you've lived somewhere long enough. The back of the closet, things that just don't need to be in the house anymore, or in the office, or in the drawers, that can make room for what we do want. And even if that's just leaving space itself, some of us have too much clutter. I have been one of those people. So having just space to breathe can feel really delightful, even if it feels foreign at first. So clearing the space physically can be a really good idea. A good rule of thumb to start on this physical level for clearing the space, which is powerful and important practice before New Year's, especially each year before you take my Manifesting a Thriving New Year workshop, is to clean the house, clean the office, repurpose, give away, donate, sell, or downright just toss in the trash if it can't be repurposed, things you haven't touched in 6 months to a year or that don't spark joy. Now let's move deeper. Where does the past live? This is the question. Where does the past live? If it's causing challenges for us, if it's taking up space, it's living in the body. The Vedas say if you can't find it in the body, you can't find it anywhere. So it's living in our body, in our nervous system, shaping and directing how we react to moments. What we can see, what we can't see, even if it might be right in front of us. There's a beautiful story, and I forget where it is in the world. I think it's in Afghanistan, I'm not sure. There's a giant golden Buddha. Not terribly different than the one over my shoulder. Giant golden Buddha. And during a period, I don't know how long ago anymore, I haven't read the story in a long time, the locals covered it with mud and clay to protect it because the country was being invaded at that time. This is quite a while back. And generations passed and nobody remembered there was a golden Buddha under there. and yet it was there. And one day, their eyes caught the intense reflection of sun during the day. And they saw that it was coming from up on this mountain, where some of the clay had come off of the golden Buddha. And so, long story short, they excavated this incredibly golden Buddha and were very, very happy to be in its presence consciously again. Well, the golden Buddha lives within you. Buddha, the root of Buddha is Bud, which means awake one. So there's not only one Buddha. There have been many Buddhas, there will be many Buddhas of all genders, all possibilities of orientation. And the true nature within you is the golden Buddha, the awake, shining consciousness within. So when we talk about making space for thriving, the way I'm teaching and pointing at it, is not about stuff, acquiring objects or piling up money or piling up relationships or getting out of one and into another. Thriving is a state of being, because I know plenty of people, I've known very, very, very uber wealthy people who were no more happy than somebody living in the Appalachian district on the East Coast with just one tap of water that was whatever the temperature comes in from outside, and an outhouse and 2 rooms to live in. And they were delightfully happy, more than the billionaire that I worked with a few years ago in New York City. Take a deep breath. Let go on the exhale. So let me clarify. This thriving that I'm guiding us into practicing does not keep you from having more financial abundance or more relationship joy. Of course that's available. But we want to get the horse before we get the cart. There's an old saying, don't get the cart before the horse. The cart is pulled by the horse. No horse, the cart's just going to sit there and be kind of junk in your yard that does no good. So we want to practice thriving in advance of any stuff we might want, and then allow life to bring us the best things for us. You don't know for certain that X number of a bank balance is going to make you happy. You don't know that X model of a car or a job is going to be the source of your happiness. But if we're learning how to practice the feeling of thriving, we are likely to see the treasure map in life that's hidden in plain sight to our best good. And not only our individual best good, but the best good for everyone connected to us. Because when we're truly thriving, we are generous. That is one of the hallmarks of thriving, is generosity. And not just generosity of material goods. That's just one little small part of generosity. Generosity of spirit, generosity of the heart. You can feel it. You don't feel fed on when you're with somebody who's thriving. In fact, you feel uplifted. It's contagious, the feeling of thriving. So I hope you're starting to get more interested in stepping deeper into thriving. And if you're already thriving more and letting the overflow fill the neighborhood, fill the community, fill the world. Take a deep breath again into that feeling you're feeling. Let go on the exhale. Now, if you're feeling challenged hearing any of all of this, you're welcome to be here too. That's totally normal. The energy behind what we're looking into, what we're focusing into, is bringing up the places where something is keep taking space in the body and the nervous system. Some form of hidden, or now maybe a bit more obvious, noticeable tension. So when we're talking about making space for thriving, when we're talking about completing the past, we are talking about paying attention to compassionately, lovingly, consistently. Compassionately, lovingly, consistently. Compassionately means there's no judgment when we spot tension. Lovingly, to add more import to the compassion, because already compassion is love, but we may need to hear it spoken as love. We may need to remind ourselves, loving, to speak to ourselves in loving, encouraging ways. Yeah? If how you speak to yourself when you're trying to grow is not a way you would talk to a small child, if they wouldn't grow and develop very well spoken to that way, why would you think it would work any better on you? Yeah? So compassionately, lovingly, consistently. We know the story about so many people forming New Year's resolutions and New Year's intentions that they do not keep or put a plan in place to follow through. So the consistency is the follow through. You know, the meditation that you do 5 minutes every single day is much better than a 1 hour meditation once a week. Why? Because you're touching the state of meditation, maybe not as deeply yet, but consistently, so that's more quickly changing the neural pathways in your brain and nervous system to have a different experience and a different outlook. Take another deep breath. Let go on the exhale. So really the only place the past is living outside of our objects and photographs in any sort of real way is in our bodies. It's in our bodies. Forms of tension, known and hidden. I'm working with one just to put myself on the map with you. I'm always a full participant in my practices and courses. I'm working with some tension that's finally starting to loosen up in my jaw on the right side, some form of TMJ. There's tension happening while I'm sleeping. I'm not grinding my teeth during the day, but I have been gripping at some point for months that it added up to where it became painful to eat, painful to chew. So I'm working with it over time. It's taking time. It's taking consistency, compassion, and a loving way of interacting about it, and some experimentation. So today we're going to do a meditation that you can repeat, and please do. Please do. I'll do my best to put this time signature of when the meditation begins into the comments below so that when you want to watch this again and again, you can just move it forward to the meditation. Although I would suggest re-listening to the talk a little bit just to remind yourself of the key points, yeah? Until you've got it really, really steady, it can be helpful to have these reminders. And there may be something I said that you didn't hear the first time. So after you've done the meditation, you might want to rewatch it. That would be a good moment. And then make your notes. Also, if you know there are stories that you're carrying, we're going towards the meditation practice right now, and this is part of it. If you know there's stories you're carrying, like some particular thing that happened to you that you keep actually thinking about, then you ask the next question to yourself. But you must slow your breathing down to make it useful. How do you do that? Radically slow your exhales. And then you must relax the body. Same as going into meditation. You slow the exhales and you willingly soften the body. I'm going to take you through the 6 points of softening freshly. So you soften each area like you're opening a fist with your imagination. So you soften the soles of your feet, skin, tendons, connective tissue, muscles, all the way to the bone. Be doing this now, please. Softer and softer and softer. The breath is coming in deeply and it's going out slower with each exhale. As you continue to soften the soles of your feet, do the same thing with the palms of your hands. Have your arms hanging at 90-degree angles so that your arms are neither pushing you backwards or pulling you forwards. Softening the 4 corners of your eyes, the inside and the outside corners, the feeling that they're melting like butter on a hot day. Softening the region inside and around your ears, which is actually very helpful to progressively release jaw tension. It's subtle, but it does work. Softening your tongue as it rests deeply in the floor of your mouth. Let your tongue rest. You may need to keep coaxing it down from the roof of your mouth. Some of us have a habit of pushing the tongue up to the roof of the mouth. So keep coaxing it down. If you find it there again, lovingly coax it down. Keep lovingly coaxing it down, letting it soften from end to end as it rests deeply in the floor of your mouth. And finally, softening all the little muscles running throughout the pelvic floor, groin region, sphincter PC muscle, letting go there. Softening soles, softening palms, softening corners of the eyes, softening region of the ears, softening tongue, softening pelvic floor, groin region. The breath is coming in deeply and it's going out slowly. If you haven't already, you can close your eyes. Just feel the breath coming in and have the feeling that you're receiving the breath, that the grace of life is breathing your breath and you're receiving it willingly. And you're making more space for it by continuing to soften the 6 points: soles, palms, eyes, ears, tongue, pelvic floor. You're making space to receive this ever-flowing, generous gift of the breath. And as you exhale, have the feeling that you're letting go on each exhale, gently, letting go. Where to let go? Let's begin with the soles of the feet. Just breathing in as you're softening them, breathing into the soles of the feet, having the feeling to soften them further as you let go. Be okay with not feeling anything in particular just yet, or feeling something quite strong as you let go, or somewhere in between. Continue inhaling into the feet, letting go on the exhales. Silently, inwardly, lovingly repeating, making space for thriving each time you exhale. Making space for thriving. Breathing into the palms of your hands. Letting go on the exhale as you silently repeat, making space for thriving. Inhaling into the hands. Exhaling, silently repeating, making space for thriving. Continue doing this at your own pace for a few more rounds with the palms of your hands. Complete the round you're on. Breathing into the corners of your eyes, the inside as well as the outside corners. As you exhale, silently within repeating, making space for thriving as you soften and let go there. Doing several rounds here at your own pace. Complete the round you're on. Come to the end of that exhale. Bring your awareness to the region inside and around your ears. Inhale into this region. As you exhale, silently within, repeat and lovingly encourage, making room for thriving. Do a handful of rounds at your own pace. Complete the round you're on, please. And bring your attention to your tongue as it rests deeply in the floor of your mouth. You're inhaling again through your nose, but you're having the feeling to direct this breath through the whole muscle of the tongue. Inhaling deeply. As you exhale, silently repeating the feeling of really making room for thriving as you repeat those words, making room for thriving. You're repeating it silently within. Do a handful of rounds at your own pace. Complete your last round with your tongue. And now bring your awareness to the whole region of the groin, the pelvic floor, PC muscle, sphincter, this whole area. Inhaling into this region. Maybe hold the breath for a few moments. And then as you exhale, repeating the feeling and the words, making room for thriving. Inhaling, making room for thriving as you soften and let go on the exhales here. Do a number of rounds here at your own pace. Continue this pattern, scanning through your body as you continue to soften soles, palms, eyes, ears, tongue, pelvic floor further, which will make this process easier and meditation deeper. You're scanning through the body for any areas that you're guided to, where there may be some old energy held here. You inhale into the region, silently within, repeating the words, making room for thriving, as you imagine, see, feel a golden light expanding from the center where the tension has been. Thriving is already within you as you dissolve the tension. The natural energy of thriving, the creative power of life itself, expands through your whole system. We'll sit for a little while in this practice, in this way, together. Remaining inward, allow your in-breath to draw your attention to the region in the center of the chest, about 3 to 5 finger widths in the center. Allow yourself to see, feel, or imagine a small point of golden light, the light of consciousness, the light of thriving, the source of creation. As you inhale into this region, it's as though you're saying yes to the thriving spreading. As you exhale, it spreads like warm liquid honey through a white cloth, not only through your body and all of the organs and bones and fluids and skin, but the subtle body, which is larger than your physical body, all the energy bodies, with each breath become more and more illuminated with the energy of thriving. Practice this for the next few moments. If you discover any tension as you're allowing thriving to expand throughout your being, simply use the practice we've been doing. Breathe into the region of the tension, feel it fully. Let it dissolve on the exhale as you silently repeat, making room for thriving, allowing this golden light to support dissolving tension at a pace you can handle. If you'd like to continue this meditation, simply stop the recording and continue meditating. For the rest, leaving your eyes closed, take 3 deep breaths here, signaling a transition, becoming aware of breath, deepening the breath. 3 deep breaths in, letting go on the exhale. Letting the very last thing you do be the gentle opening of your eyes, only when you feel truly ready. And just notice how you're feeling and how you're feeling about how you're feeling. Generally speaking, this is not a one-time practice. I would encourage you to take this on regularly. And then it'll become something, once you know it really well and you welcome it, that you'll be doing anytime during the day you become conscious of some tension. So it's not just for the end of year, making room for the Making a Thriving New Year workshop forgetting my own title. Manifesting a thriving new year. Manifestation is actually not really about bringing something from another place into this place. Manifesting thriving is bringing forth what is already within. And it goes by many names: grace, Shakti, Kun, Ruach, Source, God, Goddess, thriving, abundance, joy, love. Has many faces. So it's already within. It's already within. And as you bring it forth and align with it more than you align with tension, your thoughts with tension, your thoughts with criticizing, complaining, blaming, shaming yourself or another, as you realign consistently, compassionately, lovingly, consistently, dissolving tension and aligning with thriving, you will see changes in your life. And if you're watching this towards the end of the year, this is a wonderful preparation for the new year, for your intentions to thrive. Let's seal this practice together on an out loud, long sound of Om. Inhale into your deep heart. Let go on the exhale. Inhale into your deep heart. Om. May we be happy. May we be well. May we feel loved. And may the fruits of our inner work uplift all beings as well as the earth. May it be so, and so it is. Namaste.